morning, everyone. My name is Mark McLean, and I'm proud to be the MLA for Cornwall Meadowbank. I'm honored to be here today and joined by the Member of Parliament from Malpeque, Heath MacDonald, the Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure, James Elward, and of course, the Town of Cornwall Mayor, Minerva McCourt. Today's announcement is about planning for our town's future, and we are announcing new infrastructure investments to support the Town of Cornwall. To begin, I'd like to welcome MP Heath MacDonald on behalf of the Honourable Dominic LeBlanc, Minister of Intergovernmental Affairs, Infrastructure and Communities, and also on behalf of the Honourable Dominic LeBlanc, Minister of Community Infrastructure, to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark, and welcome as the new MLA in my former riding. No, you'll be fine. You'll do a great job. Just keep the money rolling into Cornwall, right? That's all right. Pleasure to be here with, obviously, MLA McLean and Minister Elward and Mayor McCourt. It's always nice to come back to Cornwall and do these types of announcements somewhere where you grew up and not too far from here, less than a kilometer, but it's a good day. I'd like to first begin by acknowledging the land on which the announcement is taking place. It's a traditional unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people and the Wabanaki Confederacy. Our government remains focused on building a brighter future, a more prosperous, more resilient, and more sustainable Canada for our children and our grandchildren. As we continue this work, we are furthering our investments in the infrastructure that builds healthy and strong communities. Today, on behalf of the Honourable Dominic LeBlanc, Minister of Intergovernmental Affairs, Infrastructure and Communities, I am thrilled to announce more than $1.3 million to two new community infrastructure projects that will improve water and wastewater infrastructure for years to come. Funding announced today will support installation of new water mains, fire hydrants, and new property services along Main Street right here in Cornwall. With several hundred meters of the new water mains, this funding will expand water distribution systems and provide new services to more than a dozen existing properties with over 100 acres of land. This expansion will provide residents with increased access to potable water, improved water pressure, and greater protection from fires. Funding will also support the rehabilitation and repairs of the North River Lagoon. These repairs and upgrades will work to extend the lifespan of the lagoon and better protect it from severe weather events. Cornwall is growing. It's a thriving community, and these investments in water and wastewater will help ensure we continue to welcome new residents and provide better water services and wastewater management for years to come. And if we look at some of the census that was done from 2016 to 2021, we'll notice that Cornwall is one of the fastest growing provinces in PEI and one of the fastest growing provinces in Atlantic Canada by a 22.9%. So infrastructure is extremely important. And being a former MLA in this district, I always used to say, and the mayor can attest to this, if we don't keep up to our infrastructure, we're letting our residents down, because you can't build and not have the infrastructure in place to accompany it. We'll keep working collaboratively with our partners, including the province of Prince Edward Island like we are today, the town of Cornwall, and make meaningful continued investments. Projects like this are not deemed as sexy, but I can tell you they are economic growth and ensure we are building for generations to come. When we invest in infrastructure, we are creating stronger neighborhoods and improving the quality of life for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Heath. You've always been a strong advocate for our community, and it's a pleasure to work with you now on our shared goal of making Cornwall and our surrounding communities stronger. Next, I would like to welcome the Honourable James Elward, Prince Edward Island's Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure, to the podium.
Such a procedure now to get ready to go to a microphone. Thanks very much, Mark. And I want to thank everyone for coming out today for this very important announcement. And of course, I want to recognize the Member of Parliament, Heath MacDonald, good friend, as well as Her Worship Minerva McCourt and the town of Cornwall for their partnership on these important infrastructure upgrades for the community. And I just want to single out the MC today as well, Mark McLean, the newest MLA for Cornwall, and he's doing a terrific job. He's holding me account in the House for additional services here in Cornwall, and we're going to forge ahead and bring additional services here as we invigorate and revise our Access PEI sites. I feel very strongly that we'll be able to do that in the next couple of years. By working together, we are supporting stronger neighborhoods, safer communities, and future growth of the town. I'm very proud to announce that the province of PEI is pleased to provide over $1.1 million for the rehabilitation and repairs of the North River Lagoon berm and the Main Street water main upsizing and extension. Safe and readily available water is important for public health, whether it's used for drinking, food production, or recreational activities. These investments will also ensure greater fire protection to the commercial areas of Main Street and mitigate the impacts of an ever-changing environment. The town of Cornwall and our communities across the province continue to grow, and as that happens, we need to make investments that support and embrace that growth. And as Heath said, you know, it might not be the things that we see, but you know what? The infrastructure that's underground is vitally important to a growing community to ensure that we have the capacity to grow. Infrastructure such as roads, schools, health and recreational facilities, storm and wastewater upgrades is one of the most important elements for a vibrant, healthy and sustainable community. And the province of PEI will continue to revitalize our island communities, modernize our infrastructure and build for a better tomorrow. I look forward to continuing to work with our partners and to support all islanders. And Heath, I want to give you a message, if you could relay it back to Minister LeBlanc. You know, the province of PEI, our government has a tremendous relationship with the federal government, and we are so appreciative of all of the infrastructure funds and programs that are being announced, such as this one today, and we couldn't do it without a great federal partner. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming out.
Thank you, Minister Elward. You and your department have been very open and welcoming with me since I became the MLA for Cornwall, and obviously I always like to take my questions in the House too. I appreciate that too. I look forward to continuing to work together on strategic investments in Cornwall Meadowbank for our residents. Next, I'd like to call upon Her Worship, Minerva McCourt, to say a few words on behalf of the town of Cornwall.
First of all, I would like to thank you. Recognize MP Heath MacDonald, Minister James Aylward, and Mark McLean, our member here from Cornwall Meadowbank. I do listen to the legislature, and thank you, Mark, for bringing forth some of those issues we sent to you forward. This is a great day for the town of Cornwall and our surrounding areas. Most of the information I was going to say has already been said. Anyway, just to put forth, it's nice to see what can happen when we, as the town, the provincial government, and federal governments work together, all for the betterment of our residents. The announcements today help our present Cornwall. However, with the growth we have and the growth that is expected, this too will lead to the future. So in announcing these projects, Minister MacDonald, as you well know, as you and I have often spoke, infrastructure is the backbone to the development of our towns and cities. We once had a councillor who said, you know, it doesn't matter how pretty the building is, but when you turn on the tap, you have to have the water. So in saying that, this is an extremely important announcement. And again, it shows what can happen when all levels work together and are on the same page for the residents of the town. So thank you so very much.
Thank you, Mayor McCourt. It's great to see the three levels of government being so proactive and bringing forward projects to make a significant difference for our residents. By working together, all three levels of government will be improving the quality of life of people in Cornwall and the island. Going to go off a little off script today. We want to recognize, unfortunately, the town of Cornwall, as the saying is, or we're losing somebody, but the province is gaining somebody. So we would like to recognize Dean Lewis today. So I'll bring Heath up to make a presentation to Dean.
Anyway, yeah, it's one of those things, Dean. When I was an MLA, you and I worked very closely together on many funding issues and many issues in the town of Cornwall and surrounding areas. And it's just appreciative of the last 14 years that you contributed to the growth of this community. And just a little token of our appreciation. So we'd love you to come up and we can present it with you. We'll get a picture over here. Come on over here and we'll get a picture, you guys.